I'm Stephanie from Back to the Passport.
And I'm Rick.
This is a top 10 video where we're going to share our top 10 picks for tips and tricks for cruising. As a couple that enjoys group travel, cruising is another great way to explore the world and enjoy semi-stress-free travel. With set itineraries, planned adventures, meal plans, and so many included amenities and activities, cruising is a great option for travelers who want to take a break from planning out every detail of a trip, but still want to see some incredible destinations. Rick and I have been loyal Royal Caribbean cruisers for the, almost a decade we've been together?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And so we're going to share our picks for the best tips for preparing and enjoying a cruise with Royal Caribbean. So starting us off at number 10.
Number 10, don't buy the internet package unless you absolutely need it. So our experience with the internet, the Wi-Fi on board was not the greatest.
No.
There was nothing we really needed it for, except we wanted to check in for our flights. But we got one free day with our Diamond membership, so I thought, why not? We'll try it out.
Yeah.
I couldn't get anything to work in the room. Had to go outside the room. But we were so close to land on most of this cruise that my 5G on my phone
worked
better than the onboard Wi-Fi. So, yeah.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, they call it, the surf and stream package? I'm like, who the hell can stream
no one can
anything?
Stream on this. Yeah.
Again, it's about, it was our benefit with Diamond is $30. So it's basically, one free day of internet, which is about $30. And I'd be pissed if I paid $30 for how crappy it was. We had better service out on our balcony scrolling through Instagram, but in our room, it went dead. And then you were at the spa when I had to check in for our last flights. And I had to run out of our room into the main part of the ship just to have Wi-Fi. So I'm standing there with our passports trying to take photos, and it's a mess. Yeah. So just don't do it.
Not recommended.
Sorry, but not sorry, Royal Caribbean. Your Wi-Fi is not worth what it costs to use. So coming in at number 9, really price out the drinks packages. So it can be great to hop on a booze cruise, but really calculate if a drinks package is worth it. I mean, we've been on sailings where if there are 2 adults in the room and one buys a drink package, the other automatically has to do it because they know that people like us have been buying one adult package and going to a bar, handing off a drink, and going to another bar, getting a drink. So they've kind of made sure that you can't do that anymore. But you really should figure out if the drinks packages are worth it. I mean, we've done cruising where we didn't do a drinks package, and at the end of the cruise, it was $75 instead of basically being charged $60 per day. Expect that most cocktails are going to be priced at about $10 to $15. There is a discount on the cocktail of the day, so that typically clocks in around $8. Beers are going to be, $7 to $10? And glasses of wine, $9 to maybe $20 if you're really going high end and really fancy with your drinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm a nerd, so I like to calculate how many drinks a day would I have to make this worth it?
Yep.
And then you feel like you're obligated to have that many drinks per day, and then you get really drunk and you don't feel great.
Nope.
So.
And then you might waste a day at port the next day.
Yep. Happened to a friend of ours. Yeah.
I'm also going to say that all the sailings we've been on allow you to bring 1 bottle of wine per person, which does help cut down on how many drinks you're going to have. So if you're doing a quick weekend getaway and you enjoy wine, I honestly wouldn't recommend buying a drinks package and just paying out of pocket for what you do buy and then enjoying your wine back in your room or pouring yourself a glass before you head out for the night.
And if you don't have a package, the bartenders will look at you really strange and ask if you want to pay cash for this.
Yep.
Like a weirdo.
Yep. I would say, there's really no right or wrong choice here. Just be like Rick, be a nerd, do the math, and be true to yourself about what kind of experience you want to have on board the ship. You want to enjoy the party atmosphere and not be worried about your bar tab? Go for the deluxe option. Or are you more the type to just have a glass of wine with dinner, maybe a cocktail beforehand? They also have soda and just refreshment packages. That might be better as you can get other drinks and then just pay out of pocket for the booze. I would also say keep in mind with those refreshment packages that bottles of water are included in some of them, Otherwise, bottles of water will cost you unless you do have a drinks package. But there is always going to be free water on board the ship. So you can always go to the Windjammer and get a glass of water. Or there's on like the promenade, like the pizza place always has water for you too. So you're not going to expire from dehydration if you don't buy a drinks package. You will still be able to get water. I think, yeah, last time, we just would go, we were lucky we were on the 6th floor, so we could just walk downstairs to the 5th, go to the pizza place and get a couple glasses of water and take them back to our room.
Yeah, and then we would fill our own water bottles too with the glasses, right?
Yeah.
They don't want, I don't want you filling them directly out of the machine, but yeah.
But yeah, we weren't the only ones grabbing glasses of water and then pouring them into our own, but definitely good to know.
Yeah. Number 8. Book a balcony room, unless you get super seasick. We've had, different types of rooms across the different cruises we've been on. We've stayed basically in the underbelly of the ship with no light.
Yeah.
We've stayed in the porthole rooms with the very small circle of light. But then after we've stayed in a balcony room, it's like you can't go back.
You can't go back.
And they're not actually that much more expensive than the lower level rooms either.
I don't think so.
And, it just gives you a good outdoor private area that you can hang out, have a drink, watch the views go by, and yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, I would say I do like the interior rooms just because they get so dark. Like, it's amazing for sleep, but I liked how much bigger our room feels when we have a balcony. And like Rick said, it's a nice place for us to, when we're tired of being around other people and we just want to enjoy some peace and quiet, we can go sit on our balcony with our 2 bottles of wine that we brought on the ship and just enjoy it without all the crowds of people. You get great views. I thought it was fantastic, especially for Europe, just being able to see Croatia as soon as we pulled in.
Sure.
Like, that was fantastic.
Yeah, just the Greek islands outside your window too. It's nice.
That was really nice. All right, so coming in at number 7, chair check. So for pool time, you're going to want to get there early if you want to snag a good seat, but do not waste your time getting up early to drop a towel over a chair and then going and having a long breakfast or going back to the room, because your towel will be gone. Most cruise lines have chair checks where they'll tag empty chairs, and if in an hour, sometimes even 30 minutes, if someone doesn't come back and put their butt in that chair, they're taking your towel away, just because you're not actually using it. So please be courteous to your fellow travelers and try not to hog chairs when they're actually not being used. Also, if you're just there to get some sunshine and not really make use of the pools, the upper decks typically have a lot of open seating. I would also recommend, if you do go up to the upper decks, that you bring some towel clips, as it gets very windy up on those upper levels.
It does. Yes, it does.
But you don't spend as much time at the pool as I do, so...
I don't. No, I'll go.
He's not the one getting up early.
Maybe 10 minutes at a time here and there. But
yeah. All right, coming in at number 6.
So number 6, book ahead. And this is just good advice for anything that you book, but whether your excursions, your spa, anything on the ship, get that booked as early as you can.
Yeah.
The spa usually fills up pretty fast. The excursions, I feel like there's usually spots when you get on the ship, but that's not guaranteed.
No.
So we don't like to risk it, so prefer to book as much as we can ahead of time.
Yeah, I think the only one we've really risked was the day beds on Coco Cay. We didn't book those until we got on because we're like, we'll see if they're still available and then we'll know we can go. But otherwise, I think the swimming with pigs we booked ahead of time. And then all of our Europe excursions we booked because I knew those were going to sell out, especially the Athens ones, going to the Acropolis and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah.
I'll also add that when you get on board the ship, just make sure to check your room to make sure that your excursion tickets are in the stateroom. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay a visit to guest services to get your printed copy, as I think they always ask for our tickets when we go check in for things.
Yeah,
they're making sure that you're supposed to be there. So just make sure that you have your tickets on hand, or again, when you get to your room, if they're not there, head on downstairs just so you can make sure that you have your tickets for the activity. I think you also have learned this over the years about paying ahead for our room tips.
Oh, yeah. So I had a bad experience on a Royal Caribbean back in the day related to tipping the room attendant. So ever since then, we just prepaid gratuities, don't even have to worry about it.
Yep. Yeah. And if you want to, they do leave an envelope in the room. So if you want to leave an extra tip, you can. But if you've already prepaid, you're good to go. I also like doing the prepay so then we don't have to worry about bringing cash on board. Or any cash we use can just be used at the casino.
Yep.
Because God knows we spend enough time there. Speaking of cash for the casino, an interesting thing that we learned on our recent European cruise was that the currency on board the ship is US dollars. Doesn't really seem to matter where your ship is taking off from. It's always going to be US dollars. It was not euros. So like luckily for us, that was super easy. We didn't really have to worry about that. But if you are from Europe or anywhere else, you will most likely need US dollars. They will exchange your currency at the casino for you, but obviously they're going to be adding a little bit of a charge on that to make their money back.
Yep.
All right. So number 5 is signing up for the Crown and Anchor Society. I always recommend joining loyalty programs, whether it's for airlines, hotels, or cruise lines. Like, why wouldn't you want to get rewarded for your business with them? Rick and I are very fortunate that we are in the diamond level of Royal Caribbean's loyalty program. So we get perks like access to the Diamond Lounge and its breakfast buffet, 20% off at the spa. Although I didn't get 20, but I should contact them because I never got my 20% off.
Yeah,
he did. But we'll also get like exclusive rates on staterooms. We get 4 complimentary drink vouchers per day, which also does affect what we think about the drink packages. And we also do get that free day of internet, even though we've already said fine, thanks for the free day of internet, but eh. And then we also get a complimentary printed photo. You do earn points for every night that you've cruised, and you become a gold member with just 3 points. So why wouldn't you sign up? You continue to rack up points and get better perks the more you sail with them.
Number 4, plan your packing. So one of the best tips we can give is to pack light, especially if you're going on a tropical destination.
Yeah, you don't need much.
You don't need much. I would say that one of the things that if you're interested, that you would need to pack for, they do like theme nights, like formal nights, or like white night. White night.
Which sounds terrible. But
yeah, it does. But yeah. So there are theme nights like that I believe they advertise somehow before you get on the ship, so you know.
I think you can look on the app, but.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think, I pack flip-flops. I don't even know if I had a pair of shoes tied.
Probably not, because we don't really do the formal activities.
Sure. But yeah, it can be fun if you want to get fancy. One of the nights, it is fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I would also add on a packing tip of making sure that you've got like a change of clothes, a swimsuit, a pair of flip-flops in the personal item you're going to be bringing onto the ship, just in case after you get on board, if you want to go to the pool, you don't have to wait for your luggage to get delivered, because sometimes it can take a while. And especially if you're trying to sneak anything prohibited on board, they will keep your bags and you have to personally go get them from people. Yeah. So just make sure you've got a change of clothes or any medications, charging cables, anything that you might need right away, just in case it does take a while for your luggage to make it back to you, because we fully expected to carry our suitcases on board and we got separated from them. So
well, you can carry your bags on board if you want. We were in a special situation on this last one.
Yeah, we didn't feel like waiting going through the pile of suitcases.
So I will say that if you have the option to carry on your bags and they're not super bulky, just carry them on yourselves.
Yep. Yeah. Or if you're planning on getting off the ship on your own, so typically the night before, or is it the night before, you're gonna put your luggage out so they can collect.
The night before the last day.
Yeah, the night before the last day. And they'll come around, tag it, and then you have a specific time that you're gonna be disembarking from the ship. Since we pack light, we don't have giant suitcases, so we prefer to just be able to get off on our own timetable. And so we don't have to put our bags out. We can just leave our room, go down the stairs, and get right off the ship instead of having to be like, okay, we're in the 11:15 group, and then we have to go through the security thing. We have to go collect our bags, go out this way. We just think it's a lot more convenient to do it ourselves.
Yeah. You're under control of it. That's my thing. It's like, I'm in control of it. I know where my bag is, and nothing bad can happen to it.
Yep.
Call it paranoia. Call it preparedness.
Well, or if we've got a tight squeeze between getting off the ship and our flight. Like,
That's true too.
I just wanted, I mean, I am also a carry-on on our flights though too, because I like just being able to get off and go.
Yep.
One other thing related to packing, I would definitely say pack a day bag, a beach tote, or something to take off the ship if you're doing any excursions, especially if you are going to a beach. It can also be really handy to take to the pool, just if you have any like books or sunglasses, sunscreen, all of that stuff. If you are going to bring a backpack as your day bag, definitely check the regulations around personal items and like sizing requirements, because there were some excursions that noted like big backpacks were not allowed at certain sightseeing stops. So either pack something small or just make sure to really read the fine print, because you don't want to get there and then realize that your bag can't make it in with you.
Yeah.
All right, coming in at number 3, and I think this is a tip that we haven't learned this the hard way, but it's one that we don't want to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
Get to the departure port a day early, if possible, with your schedule and your budget. Because if the ship says the gangway is up at 6:30, it's going up at 6:30, whether or not you're on board. So we always fly in at least a day early, so we're not stressing about getting to the ship on time. And I think even more so, this is especially important in this day and age where so many flights are doing cancellations, delays. I mean, we got stuck in Newark because of a flight cancellation, and it's not worth the stress. I'd rather spend the money on a hotel in Miami knowing that, okay, we can wake up tomorrow morning and we're going to be just fine getting on the ship, instead of trying to leave Denver and realizing we're grounded because of a storm over DIA.
Yeah, getting on the ship stress-free, I think, is, you don't want to start the cruise off on a bad foot.
Yeah.
So, well, you don't want to miss the cruise,
Yeah.
first of all. And
we've never had a problem the opposite direction, getting off the ship and getting back to the airport. It's always just, I'm always so stressed about getting to the ship.
Yeah.
So, if possible, get in a day early.
All right, number 2, check in ahead of time. Again, with like booking excursions early, doing things early, it's just in that same bucket. And they make it super easy you can just go online, check, you add your passport information, all that stuff ahead of time. And I will say that in the past, you would fill that stuff out early, and then you get to the port and they'd still ask you for everything, and it's like, well, why did I do it ahead of time if you're just doing it now? This past one, we breezed right through. I don't think we stopped during the check-in process longer than like 30 seconds.
No.
Because they just we said, okay, we scanned our card. We already had our C-Pass card on our phones. So they just scanned that, and our photos were already there.
Yep.
Boom, bam, get on the ship. I think that's the fastest I've ever gotten on a cruise ship.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And just a note, the photo that you do take for that pre-check-in is the photo that is going to pop up every single time they scan your C-Pass card to make sure you are who you say you are. So just a fair warning, if you hate that photo, you're going to see it every single time you get on and off the ship.
And the employees will too.
Yes. All right, coming in at number 1 is download the app. So the app will actually grant you enough internet access so you can see the day's cruise planner and list of activities, check your own schedule to see if you've got dinner reservations or a spa appointment. Does not give you internet access to anything else, but you can still use the app even when you're on the ship, and if you don't have a Wi-Fi connection or if you don't have Rick's great 5G service. I really like the app because it shows you what's happening around the ship, helps you plan your evening, and can tell you what bars or dining are currently open. Also has deck maps, so in case we get separated and he's like, oh, I'm at, this bar, like, okay, I can quickly find you. And I also love that it has private messaging between people that are in your reservation, which, again, was great for us since I had absolutely no service. And when we were way out at sea, you didn't have service either, but we could still text each other through the app just to make sure that we knew where each other were, or...
Yeah, when we had decent Wi-Fi connection, the messaging worked very well. And you don't have to pay for... The messaging is completely free, but you still need to connect to their Wi-Fi network. You don't have to pay for a day. You'll get the messaging and the ship activities, itinerary stuff for free. And I really love that part because... So they give you the paper, what is it, cruise compass, each day, what's going on that day. And if you don't have that with you, and you're like, oh well, it's 8:30. What's happening right now?
Yep.
You have to go back to your room, look at your paper. I think they probably have it posted around the ship on like boards.
Yeah.
But it's a little added convenience of just pulling your phone out and you can see right away and get to where you need to go.
Yep. Or even for like dining, I think you can make reservations through the app.
You can make reservations. You can make reservations for restaurants, excursions, spa, whatever on the ship. And
I also think with the thinking about dining, they also tell you, because like each night at the buffet, it's kind of a different theme, like for where the food comes from. So you can see that, because there were some nights that were like,
Oh, that was the other thing. Yeah, you can see the menus.
Yeah.
Restaurant menus in the app as well.
Yep. Yeah, you can also see the bar menus. So like if you don't know what cocktail to order or what the cocktail of the day is, you can find it in there.
Sure.
All right. So I'm going to throw in a bonus tip, but just go with the flow. You're on a cruise. It's fun. Is some of the entertainment going to be cheesy? Yes. And that's part of its charm. Enjoy it for what it is and just go with the flow. All right. So that wraps up our 10 tips for cruising with Royal Caribbean. If you have other tips that you think first-time cruisers should know, please leave your suggestions in the comments. Otherwise, be sure to check out our blog at backtothepassport.com for more travel content. Ciao.
Ciao.